How many of you have had a big goal that you've been trying to achieve throughout your life? Many of us make goals in order to accomplish the dreams we've made for ourselves. We often look towards the future in order to accomplish these goals and dreams. I'm sure many of you have a goal that you're trying to achieve right now or you have in the past. Right now, my goal is to get into physical therapy school. I've had this goal since 8th grade when I shadowed a physical therapist for career day. I furthered my love for physical therapy when I had to go through physical therapy for a back injury in high school. My physical therapist, Adrian, was amazing, and I told myself that if I can help people the way he does, then I truly have accomplished something great in life. So now I'm at the point where I'm about to apply to physical therapy schools. There are 3 main things you must have in order to get into physical therapy school. You must have a high GPA, high GRE scores, and great recommendation letters from professors and physical therapists. Getting high grades in college is really important. You have to have a high GPA in order to impress the admissions people. According to the American Physical Therapy Association, the minimum GPA to apply to physical therapy schools is a 3.0. The average GPA for people that are admitted into PT schools is a 3.5. According to PCAST.org, your prerequisite courses are the most important courses that you need to emphasize getting high grades in throughout your undergrad and college. Your prerequisite courses are made to exemplify what you will be doing in PT school and throughout your career as a physical therapist. So it's really important to do well in these courses. According to the American Physical Therapy Association, most of the prerequisite courses are the same throughout grad schools. There might be a few minor differences, but most of them include chemistry, human anatomy, statistics, psychology, human physiology, exercise physiology, and some biology courses, just to name a few. So if you're not worried about your grades, what's next? Getting high GRE scores is really important when applying to physical therapy schools. The GRE stands for the Graduate Record Examination. According to the American Physical Therapy Association, a 900 on your GRE is a sufficient score in order to apply to physical therapy schools. The GRE is divided into 2 sections, the quantitative section and the verbal section. According to USnews.com, the quantitative section emphasizes geometry and algebra. So a good tip would be to refresh on these courses that you might have had in high school in order to increase your score on the quantitative portion. USnews.com also said that reading the dictionary or being well-read will enhance your vocabulary to do well in the verbal portion of the exam. According to gradview.com, the exam ranges from 200 to 800 points for both sections. So combining these sections of their 200 to 800 point range gets your total points for the GRE. U.S. News and World Reports stated that the first 10 questions on the GRE are the most important questions, and you should really focus on getting these 10 questions right. Neil Seltzer from the Princeton Review said that if you get those first 10 questions right, you'll be happy with your score no matter what happens the rest of the test. So really focus on those first 10 questions because it puts you at a higher point range and you'll really get a great score. According to the journal Physical Therapy, your grade point average and your GRE are what admissions look at to estimate the student risk factor. The student risk factor is your the estimate of you failing the National Physical Therapy Examination, which you have to take after you complete grad school. And this test accredits universities and gives them their reputation. So if you have a high student risk, they don't want to accept you. So having those good GPA and GRE scores are really important. So you have your GRE scores and you're fine with that and you have a great GPA. The last thing you need is great recommendation letters from professors and physical therapists. A good way to get a great recommendation letter from a physical therapist is by doing observation and volunteer hours. Observation and volunteer hours are required for most physical therapy schools. I know Ohio State, according to the APTA, requires a minimum of 40 hours to apply. And OU does not require a minimum amount of hours, but they do require 2 physical therapist recommendation letters. You can volunteer or get observation hours by just simply volunteering out of your spare time. You can become a physical therapy aide or you can be an intern. All of these hours count as long as you're around a physical therapist. It's really important to ask questions and just build a strong relationship with the physical therapist in order for them to write you a great recommendation letter. The second way to get recommendation letters is through professors. Ways to get to know professors is through extracurricular activities. Well, first of all, get good grades in the class and then ask to be a TA or do research for that professor and really get to know the professor. Being a TA shows that you are very knowledgeable in that subject and you can teach other people, which just really deepens your knowledge for the subject and shows that you are a leader and that you have a great work ethic and you're very smart. Being involved in research is really important because some PT schools are research based, so having a background in research is really important. So getting recommendation letters from PTs and professors is really important. These 3 things are really important in order to get into physical therapy school. In order to get into physical therapy school, you have to have a high GPA, you have to get high GRE scores, and you have to get great recommendation letters. It's very hard to accomplish these goals, but if you can do so, you can successfully get in. Now go out there and accomplish your dream.